That's awesome.
just to get together with people and, you know, maybe help get some other people out and,
Yeah,
um,
that's awesome.
get them active too. Um, but it's like, that's part of why, I had thought of getting you on my show here is because, it's just like community. That's what it's about. It's
Sure.
like we were talking earlier, it's like, sure, what life can be done over Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Like my show here, I'm in the studio, you're not, so we're doing the show over Zoom call. And it's like, sure, we can do, we've been doing races virtually for so long now, and running races, and then now things are opening back up, and there's uh, of course limited numbers of people allowed at these races, but there are races starting to happen again,
Yeah.
and it's like, and like you were saying with your uh, real estate business, it's like, now with things opening back up, you're looking forward to getting back, actually meeting the people in real life, and,
Yeah, for
instead of
sure.
over Zoom call all the time.
Yeah, no, Zoom is great, but it's not how I want to live my life.
Yeah,
I didn't grow up this way, and it's good for now, and I'm sure I can incorporate it more into my work and my life going forward. But it's different, and I've listened to my kids do virtual school, and although I think the schools are doing the absolute best they can, it's not the same for them. And so there's so much value to be had in face-to-face interaction. And I think it's something that's it's going to be good for everybody to get back into our life. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like, definitely getting back to, getting back to the life, you know, full life that we knew before, virtual life.
hmm
And
yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
technology rocks like this, being able to do this, still do the show even though you can't get into the studio, which that rocks. But it's like
Yeah,
it'd be so much better if you were here in the studio, just
yeah, absolutely. Well, and it
and
feels like we're getting there. It
yeah,
feels like things are on a good trend, and who knows what'll happen tomorrow. But for today, it seems like we're making progress. So
yeah,
I'll take
definitely,
it.
definitely. It's like yeah, it's like the world's you know opening back up, awakening or coming alive again.
Yeah.
And yeah, um, I had some questions written down, but I forgot my backpack, so I don't have that to go off of. Um, but yeah, let's see. Oh, I was going to ask you. So I was just wondering, have you lived in the area your whole life, and have you worked? Have you just sold real estate there at John L. Scott there in Federal Way where you're at?
hmm yeah. So actually, I was born and raised here in Federal Way. I spent my entire life here, and then I just moved around to other little cities, in the area, Kent, Puyallup, Auburn, all the different things. But I always find my way back to Federal Way, and now I have two kids, and they're here in Federal Way, so that's it keeps me grounded here. And like I said earlier, I for quite a while I had a career with the state of Washington, working with DSHS, serving the public, and that was really great. And then about 2 years ago, I just decided that it was time to start making a move to something different. I do love serving the public, but uh, it started to become less face to face. Most things were just being done via paperwork, via phone call, not too much of the interaction, and so that connection with the public was really starting to take a back seat. And for me, that was a big reason why I really enjoy doing that. And so I started looking at, kind of what I wanted to do for myself. And I wanted to do something big, and I wanted to do something bold. I just really wanted to test myself. Um, and so earlier in my life, I held a stockbroker's license. And so it came down to, do I want to go back to the stock market, helping people with their finances, or real estate? And I chose real estate. So I went to John L. Scott, and it's been great ever since. I'm so happy I made that move, and I had an amazing first year. Even with COVID going on, I had a really great first year, and I was able to learn a lot and work with a lot of really great people. And I'm still putting a lot of stuff together and doing the best I can. But all things considered, I feel pretty good with where I'm at, and definitely looking forward to what 2021 is going to bring. So it's awesome.
Right on. Yeah, that's one thing I've been thinking is that uh, well, I don't know, 2020 didn't really suck too bad for me. It's it was actually really cool. Um, got to go
Yeah,
on a road trip, actually a couple of road trips, one to Eugene, one to Carson City, Nevada, and kayaking on Lake Tahoe and
yeah.
all that. And,
Well, I
stayed
remember
over.
early in March, I had set up a workshop, and it was like a workshop for home buyers. And I advertised it on Facebook, and I think there was about 22 to 24 people that had registered for it. Um, and it was set for, I believe, March 5th. And if you remember, that was just right in that gray zone where COVID was becoming a thing, but it wasn't quite the thing that it was. And I remembered the day of, it was just like one by one, people kept saying, "Hey, I can't make it today because I'm worried about this COVID thing." And I remember thinking, like, we're gonna cancel this because of COVID. Like, what is COVID? And now I look back on that, and it's crazy to think that how close that was to the beginning and what it became. This whole year-long fiasco that's still going to this day. uh, and that was definitely the beginning of. I think that was the last time that I had anybody in person in the office. So
Yeah.
been almost a year.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, it's a long time to go.
yeah,
Yeah, without that interaction, face-to-face interaction in the office.
yeah, for sure. Well, maybe now that things are getting better, when we can have people in person again, I'll set up that same workshop, and I'll contact those 22 people and see who's still interested.
Hey, that that might not be a bad idea. Just say,
Yeah,
hey, what's up? We're
yeah,
back in action. Let's go.
yeah. But it is crazy to look at some of the things that have been affected by COVID. I know a lot of people have seen what's going on with real estate, and it's not just real estate, but like collectibles have completely taken off. I do a lot with baseball and baseball cards, and they've gone astronomical prices. Real estate, stocks, all these things that people are now inside and putting time and effort and research into are all of a sudden becoming bigger and more interesting to people. And it really is fascinating when people are forced to uh, seclude themselves and really dig into things. People really start to take on new passions, and it's been crazy to watch. So
Yeah. Uh, you were talking about baseball cards. Actually, I don't know if you do, but I follow Gary V on Instagram,
yeah,
and I've been watching him, post these videos, these different baseball cards, and he shows
yeah,
me,
yeah,
and he's like, "Yeah, dude, this wasn't worth so much, a little while ago, and now it's booming." And I figure it's just people, like we were talking early on in the show about, being isolated, getting back to, spirituality, self-development, if you will.
hmm
Um, and it's like everyone's during the isolation of quarantine lockdown, we've all been getting back to, you know, what can we do without, going out into the world. We can get back into this, we can get back into that,
Yeah, for
instead
sure.
of, it's sort of like still part of our life, but it had sort of been set aside, and
Yeah,
now it's come back to the forefront.
for sure. It's forced so many different things to the surface now that people can explore, because I think we all enjoy a good TV show or a good movie here or there, but like the reality of it is we're just not programmed as humans to watch or spend that much time doing stuff like that. And so it's really forced us to uh, open new doors and try different things. And I think a lot of people have found a lot of different things in their life that they're going to carry with them even as this whole thing dies down. So I did
Yeah,
watch. I was watching a couple of Gary Vee's videos too. Like you could just pull up YouTube and it obviously suggests videos based on stuff you've seen, and so he does his overrated, underrated videos, and those are pretty fun to watch. So
yeah, I've watched a couple of those. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Uh, and it's, yeah, as a matter of fact, I saw one of his videos on Instagram last night, and it's like I don't drink, so I didn't want you know I didn't want to join the wine text or whatever, but
mhm.
um, yeah, it was funny. His dad saw us right. He was at the stove cooking frying some eggs or something. And Gary Vee's like, talking about his dad enjoying a glass of wine while he's cooking, and his dad's like, oh yeah, check this out. It's just like life. We may not be able to get out into the world for life, you know, right now. Well, it's like right now we're integrating back into the world. It's opening back up and everything, but not wide open like it was before quite yet.
Mhm.
So it's like this technology and you know shooting little videos, sharing that is sort of where it's at now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's definitely something that I have to do more of in 2021 to get a little more uncomfortable with, making some videos and just putting them out there. And
Mm.
it's I think about like what have I picked up in COVID that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life now. What have I learned in this period of time that is going to become a permanent part of who I am now. So
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking along those lines the other day, pondering. Okay, what did was there anything I learned in particular during quarantine and the isolation of it, you know, that I can, use in 20, that I can use to make 2021, an awesome year? How can I, use that in this
yeah, hmm,
year?
yeah, definitely. What'd you come up with?
Yeah. Well, basically, well, one of the things I came up with was, getting into uh, using. I had gotten into during 2020. I learned more about using Zoom. I even got my own account now because I'm here at the radio station, so that I can hook up to it on my own.
Hmm.
Rather than having to have someone else open up their Zoom. And for doing my Zoom calls like this during 2020, I would get on Zoom calls with people across the country, and I would also one thing I did during 2020 was I would get on Instagram Live and Facebook Live and read out of Brendan Burchard's book, The Motivation Manifesto,
Mm.
or the book I wrote, my autobiography, Live the Passionate Life. And it's like just being able to share, whether it was that or even just talking, about daily life during quarantine, like a lot of people are doing. It's like
Hmm.